Started?
All
Hey.
right. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, good.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself, who you are?
Yes, I am a burlesque dancer from upstate New York.
Oh, where?
I spent some time. I'm from Syracuse.
Okay.
I spent some time down here a few years ago. Went back up there during the pandemic and just moved back this year, and it's really good to be back.
Wow.
Yes.
Cool. And your name is?
Dandy Red.
Daddy Red. Cool. Can you tell me a little bit about your career? And
Yes. So I started with Salt City Burlesque in 2019. Mixed Rah Rah Darling and Thady Bedbug headlined my very first show
Wow.
up there. It was for Pride Burlesque at Wunderbar, and kept doing shows with them, started branching out with different shows throughout the state, and one thing led to another, just kept on doing it. Eventually, my style evolved a little bit. It started out very classic and like very old Hollywood, and then kind of got more edgy and a little bit more neo-burlesque and more modern, still with classic burlesque elements.
Cool. So you're coming into your style.
Yes.
And you're
It's been
feeling
very exciting. It's been very exciting, yeah.
Awesome.
Exploring different looks and styles and how they feel, so.
Okay. What does community mean to you?
Community's everything. It's all about the people you know, not like you hear people say that in a business sense a lot of the time, but it really comes down to taking care of other people and being taken care of by other people, holding each other, being there for each other. When somebody's sick, when somebody needs something, when somebody needs a shoulder to cry on, that's what it's all about. That's how we all get through life, is with each other. So,
That's well said.
thank you.
So we're over here. Who was your queer awakening?
Okay, I have one in particular.
Okay.
Of course, when I was younger, all the Disney princes, Prince Eric. I don't know if you're familiar with the Swan Princess.
No.
It's like an obscure cartoon. I don't think it was Disney, but it's really beautiful. It's really good. This princess who turns into a swan,
Oh.
and then she turns back into a woman. And like I remember watching that in the 90s. And there's a prince. His name is Prince Derek, and there's an evil wizard who like captures him and shoots his shirt off with like lightning bolts, and he's like helpless and becoming more and more shirtless. And that was a big moment when I was like, oh, gay. I'm gay.
You knew that
For
right
that man, and like that is doing something for me. But that was a cartoon, and I would say like there were a few. There was obviously like David Beckham, soccer player, gorgeous, just incredible. But it was really Adam Lambert. He was on season 8 of American Idol, which was in 2009.
That was the one season I've seen.
Oh my God, okay. Okay, amazing. So you know.
Yeah.
So there were so many memorable moments of his throughout that whole season. But, and I was tuning in every week. It was fun. It was like I watched it with my family, and they didn't know that I was drooling over him. But like I was like keeping an eye on him the whole way because I saw early on how talented he was and how tall, dark, and handsome he was. And there was a particular moment, it was like getting into like the final 15 or something. And so they, they're spending more on the production for everybody. And so he was singing Feeling Good. And he was descending this staircase in a white suit. And his jet black hair, was
I think I remember that.
just ever so slicked back. And it was just such a moment. And I did theater all the way through school growing up. And so between that connection, just somebody so talented, so musically inclined, such an incredible singer with such a stage presence, and so tall, dark, and handsome, and visibly queer, because that was huge
True.
for that time for me, because I grew up in a conservative Catholic house.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say town.
Yeah, that too. I mean, like, it was a smaller town. It's kind of conservative. I mean, there are like pockets, and there are people, you know, but I mean, I was kind of sheltered. So so it was just great. It was so empowering and like reassuring to see a visibly gay man standing in his power so confidently, so with such strength, and I was just in love with all of it. So, and then he was the runner-up. He didn't win.
Yeah.
It was I can't even remember. I think the guy's name was Chris something.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't remember, but do you remember it? Like how that all went down?
Vaguely.
It was like he was basically obviously going to be the winner.
Yeah.
And I think that they had the other guy win because they knew Adam would be successful. Regardless, that's just my theory. That's just my theory.
It's a good theory.
I still can't remember the winner's name, but I could. Is it David Archuleta?
That sounds right.
It was like one of those guys. But anyway, you know, and then he went on to tour with Queen.
Oh wow.
Singing Freddie Mercury's parts, starting in 2012.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that too.
Iconic. I mean, who else could do that?
I don't know.
You know, like, who comes to mind who can vocally do it, look the part, you know?
It's an iconic look.
There's nobody ever like Freddie Mercury, but somebody of a similar caliber who's so badass, like glam rock in his veins.
Mm-hmm.
So that was incredible to see.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Cool. Do you have any role models that helped you kind of shape realizing you were queer?
I always knew that I was queer, but I also have to say, and I'm still in touch with him, which is really cool, so I hope that he ends up seeing this, but actually my bus driver in elementary school was an openly gay man who was fabulous. I was like gagged. It was Halloween, and he showed up driving the bus in full drag.
Oh my god!
As Cher, and it was so good.
Wow.
It was so good. He looked so good, and was just like you cannot even imagine that happening today.
No.
Because this was probably 2003, 4.
Okay.
Like 2003 or 2004. This was before a lot of shit was happening.
Yeah.
And it was, nobody had an issue with it. It just was. And I was like in awe. You know what I mean? Because he was so comfortable being so visibly queer, a man in drag. I mean, he loved Cher.
Yeah.
Played Cher on the bus. He loved Cher.
I wonder if he knew how much that meant to you or to other queer kids.
I've told him since then.
Yeah?
I've told him since then.
Okay.
You know, because, I mean, with Facebook, it's like you can find people, and so I've let him know specifically that, like, how big of a deal that was for me.
Okay.
And just to see a gay man in his strength and secure and unafraid and visibly queer, and it was a big deal. It was a very big deal. And I went to a Catholic school.
Oh, wow.
And nobody had an issue with it.
Wow.
Nobody had an issue with it.
Wow.
Because people respected him, because people knew him. I mean, my parents never saw as I was getting off the bus, because it would be, I think it was just the one time. but it was at the end of the day. It wasn't in the morning. So as I'm getting off the bus, like my parents couldn't see the bus driver, and if they did from a distance, they just would have thought it was a girl, like a substitute or something. Like, so my parents didn't know, but like nobody at the school had any issue, and that's just so different now. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm sure that there are communities and schools where it's a non-issue if that was to happen, but it's like you just hear about so much nonsense, attacking the drag community as if they're the problem when they're not.
No.
So he was an icon, truly. Like,
it's beautiful.
Growing up, I'm so lucky to have had him as a bus driver. Somebody like that in my life for me to see at such a young age, because this was before I was even 12 years old. Like I was probably like 10, 11.
Okay.
So it was just nice to know there's somebody else like me out there living an adult life, a healthy, functioning life.
No, I wonder the same, because I didn't have any queer role models growing up, and I didn't realize I was queer until maybe like 3 or 4 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, it took me a long time.
So can I ask, who is your queer awakening?
Yes, Shigo, and I was really bummed that no one wanted to perform as her. But I'm hoping to dress up as her a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. It won't be as great as you guys, but it'll be.
Well, we'll just see about that. We'll just see about that.
Sure. Last question.
Yes.
Is there anything you want people to know about your act, about you, about anything?
I would say I'll be doing my signature teal feather fan act. It's my signature act at the moment, and it's my favorite color. I love dancing with feather fans. Of course, glove peels, the whole 9 yards. But what's so great about burlesque is that you can mix and match songs with costumes and choreography. Like, you can just tweak something even at the last minute and just run with it, and it's great. It's like, because basically what I know is that the amount of things that I have to take off with the teal costume, it needs about a 3-minute song. Okay. So I can do it to any 3-minute song.
Okay.
So I've been doing that act to $1 Million Baby by Tommy Richardson.
Okay.
For the last year. And this time I'm going to be doing it to Coming In Hot by Adam Lambert.
Ooh.
Which is from his 2020 album, Velvet.
Okay.
So I'm excited. It's the first time I'm going to be doing this act to that song, and it's like two of my favorite things colliding.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like a debut.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
Cool.
I'm excited about it.
We're lucky to have it.
Oh, thank you.
Great. Cool. It was really nice talking to you.
Likewise.
I had a lot of fun.
Me too.
And it's great to meet you, and I'm really excited to see you perform.
I'm excited to perform here.
Yeah. All right.